Welcome back. Hello. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Sayonara. It was about 2 years ago that I sat in a bathroom, petrified, staring at a positive pregnancy test with my ex boyfriend. We had been together about 6 months and had our differences, so we decided to break up. And 2 weeks later, I realized I was about 12 days late on my period. So we talked for the first time in 2 weeks and decided to meet up to take a pregnancy test just to be sure. I was pretty certain that I wasn't pregnant. I was like, this is just we're going to take the test just to take it and to be sure. So we got the pregnancy test and we met up, and I peed on it, and within less than a minute it was two very solid lines. I can't quite describe what I felt when I saw that test, but all I know is that we sat there in silence for about 2 hours before really either of us said anything. I was shaking and shocked and speechless. I didn't know how to react. I didn't see it coming at all, so I was pretty much in shock, and I think DJ was as well. Some of the first thoughts that went through my mind were, what am I gonna do? This is so unideal. I don't even want to be with this person right now, let alone have a baby with them. What came next was kind of a hot mess. I knew I needed to tell DJ's mom, my mom, maybe a few of my closest friends, my sisters, my dad. But that was something I couldn't even think about. I was petrified. I didn't know how to tell people. I was terrified of their reactions. I knew that a lot of people would be shocked, and I was worried that everyone would be disappointed in me. So I ended up telling my mom over the phone, which she's not super happy about, but I was having a really hard time, and I called her in tears, and I was like, Mom, I'm pregnant. And she was like, come over here immediately. So I went there and we talked it out a little bit, and she was more than supportive, completely opposite of what I thought she would be, which I just didn't give her enough credit, I guess. So she reacted well. DJ ended up telling his mom, and so I'm not sure what her reaction was. I told my sisters, and we got mixed reactions from them. To be honest with you all, I was really seriously considering getting an abortion, and coming from someone who was never pro-abortion. I was pro-choice, definitely, and I think each person gets to make the choice of what they want to do, but I was certain that I would never be able to do that. In my head, I was like, I couldn't do that. Anyone else can go ahead and make their own decision, but that's not something I could go through with. But it changed when you are put in that situation and you are actually looking at the pregnancy test that says positive. The first thing that comes to your head is not, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's more like, fuck, can I do this? Is this something that I want to do? Is this something that I'm willing to change my whole life for? Because you look at the positive pregnancy test, and then you see your whole life and whole future in front of you, and you're like, I'm suddenly in a situation that I can't get out of, and this is going to make or break my whole future. So I spent about 3 weeks really thinking about what I was going to do. I went to therapy with my amazing therapist twice a week. I talked to DJ a lot. I talked to my family a lot. I went back and forth every single day. I one day would wake up and be like, I can't do this. I've got to get an abortion. This is not going to work. DJ and I still weren't together. We weren't on good terms. Then the next day I would wake up and be like, I'm going to have this baby because there's no way I could get an abortion. Like, that's taking a life of something that I created. At the time, I was like, that's my escape from this situation. That's how I get out of here. I really needed help from people around me to navigate it, but at the end of the day, it was my choice and something I needed to figure out on my own, because I was the only person that was really going to live with what I decided. DJ wouldn't have to get the abortion, so that wouldn't affect him. No one else would have to go into that clinic and do that. That was me that had to go through that, and I didn't think that that was something I could live with. So ultimately, I decided to have the baby, obviously. And looking back, I couldn't have made a better decision. Not to say that getting an abortion is wrong, because I'm totally supportive of everybody's choice, and I think that that is what a lot of people need to do, and it could have been a great thing for me to do that, but I have no regrets. So after that, I had decided to keep the baby and move forward, but DJ was not necessarily stoked about it. He had a really hard time swallowing the fact that he was going to be a dad. He wasn't ready for that. Not that I was, but he really wasn't, and he felt out of control since he didn't have the control to make the decision. It was kind of out of his hands, and I know that that was really hard for him, that his whole future was decided by me, essentially. I mean, it was decided by both of us when we weren't safe and got pregnant, but it was mainly my decision, and he was having a really hard time and needed space from the situation, and I really needed him. I didn't need space. I wanted to navigate this with him. I needed his support, and he needed space. So we really clashed when it came to that. Needless to say, it was a really hard first half of my pregnancy. I'd say it wasn't until about 20 weeks that I really came to terms with my pregnancy and actually got excited about it. But I think most of my pregnancy was spent worrying that I didn't make the right decision, reeling on the fact that I was about to be a mom. I was nervous that I couldn't do it, nervous about DJ and I, and if we would actually make it enough to be parents together. Yeah, it was a huge adjustment, and obviously I adjusted by the end of it, but it did take about half my pregnancy to get to a place where I was excited. Everyone that I told that I was pregnant, I would tell them, and they'd be like, congratulations, and I was like, this is not a good thing, don't congratulate me. Like, my first Mother's Day, while I was pregnant, everybody got me gifts, and everyone was like, happy Mother's Day, you're gonna be a great mom, and I was like, get the fuck out of here, don't talk to me, I'm not a mom, I'm still considering getting an abortion at this point, don't call me a mother. So needless to say, I had a pretty rough go for about the first half of my pregnancy. In addition to being scared shitless, I was extremely sick. I threw up every day of my pregnancy, just about until I was, I think I was 26 weeks when I stopped throwing up every day. I lost about 35 pounds. I couldn't eat, couldn't keep anything down, but I tried my best to eat as much as possible. So not only was I scared, not only was I kind of regretful that I was going through with this, but I was tortured. I mean, I was super, super sick. So that was just not really that fun. But on that note, I'm gonna leave you hanging for the next vlog. That's the first half of my pregnancy. So next time I'm gonna share with you all the second half of my pregnancy. I think it's really important for me to give you guys a backstory of what happened prior to my postpartum experience and how stressful my pregnancy was. I think it gives a good insight into why I had such a hard time in postpartum. It was really stressful and all over the place. So yeah, I should share with you all now our winner for the drawing for the Stress Away. Kayla Vance won the drawing. She gets a bottle of Stress Away essential oil, which I have to say kind of saved my life for my postpartum experience. I dealt with a lot of anxiety, obviously psychosis, depression, all of that. But in my times of utter panic and anxiety and paranoia, Stress Away definitely came to my rescue. So it's an amazing oil. If you haven't checked out Young Living Essential Oils, do that for your own benefit because they're just amazing. For all the rest of you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That is very appreciated. And if you want to read my blog, which tells a lot about my story, go ahead and check out the links below. Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, I'm going to be sharing with you all about the second half of my pregnancy. So stay tuned and come back for more. I will see you all later. Bye.